My name is Taza Piri.
And my name is Mutale Good morning, and we're joined by our sign language interpreter, Jason Manda, of course, who will be, and Chola Kauma will be joining later on. So we're here to give you just a picture of what the House is expected to consider this morning, 11th July 2025. Taza, what do we have for today?
Yes, Muta, we do expect some announcements, and we do expect a ruling to be made this morning, and thereafter we expect the House to consider some urgent matters without notice.
Thereafter, we expect to have the Vice President's question time, and this takes about 45 minutes. This is the section in which members of Parliament pose questions to the Vice President, and the questions have to be in line with government policy. So this takes about 45 minutes every Friday when the Vice President, who's the leader of government business in the House, is around. So we expect that today.
Indeed, Muta, and we also expect two bills to come at second reading stage. The first one, the Income Tax Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 9 of 2025.
And then the second one is the Customs and Excise Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 10 of 2025. So those are the two bills that will come up for consideration this morning, both coming at second reading. Just to give you a picture of the legislative process, that is the stages which a bill passes through before it becomes law. So we have the first reading, which is basically the time that a bill is introduced in the House, it's read for the first time and referred to a committee for further examination. And when the committee that was scrutinizing the bill brings the report to the House, it comes up for second reading. That is probably one of the most important stage, because this is the stage at which debate on the bill takes place. The mover of the bill, the proposer of the bill, actually does cite the advantages and disadvantages, and then debate in the House takes place, and a question is also put. So that is what happens at second reading. So from second reading, the bill then goes to committee stage, right, Saza?
Yes, indeed, Muta, it goes to committee stage, and after committee stage, in case there are amendments, a report is given, and in case there are no amendments, it goes through and it's reported, and thereafter it is considered at third reading stage.
Okay, yes. So basically that is that. So we have the first reading, second reading, and then we have committee stage if the bill goes through with amendments or without amendments, and then we have report stage, and then lastly we have third reading, and then the bill goes for presidential assent. So today the bills that are on the order paper are at second reading. So that was just a picture of the legislative process. So, and just to mention to our dear viewers that you can actually follow deliberations on Go TV, that is on channel 28, and then we have DSTV channel.
That's channel 272. We also have Topstar channel 5. And the order paper can actually be accessed on www.parliament.gov.zm.
Okay, and just in case you're wondering what this order paper that we keep talking about is, the order paper is basically an agenda that shows the business that the House is supposed to consider on a particular day. So if you want to have a look at this and know the business that is there, Taza has indicated that you can get it on our website, www.parliament.gov.zm. But just to mention that if you're in a place where there is no TV, but you still want to follow deliberations, please, you can log on to our website, www.parliament.gov.zm. Click on the Parliament Radio link and you'll be able to follow deliberations on Parliament Radio. So on our screen we have there Madam Speaker's procession that indicates that business is about to commence. So we leave you with...
Honorable members of Parliament, Madam Speaker. Yeah.
sing of Zambia, proud and free, land of wealth and joy in unity, victors in the struggle for the right. We want freedom's fight, oh, one, strong and free. Africa is our own motherland, passion with and blessed by those who blend. Let us all our people join as one, brothers under the sun, oh, one, strong and free. One land and one nation is our cry, dignity and peace in Zambia's sky, like a noble eagle in its flight. Zambia, praise to thee, oh, one, strong and free. Praise be to God, praise be, bless our great Zambia, Zambia, Zambia. Remain we stand under the flag of our land. Zambia, praise to thee, oh, one, strong and free.
Prayer. Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness has appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to consider with your abundant favor us, your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of such important responsibilities in this land. Let your blessing descend upon us here in Parliament assembled, and grant that we may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation, in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country, and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen.
Good morning, and thank you for still being with us on Parliament Television. Bells ringing, which signifies that the quorum has not yet been constituted. It is a requirement that 1/3 of members of Parliament need to be present for business to be transacted on the floor of the House. So once a quorum is constituted, we do expect commencement of today's business. And like we mentioned earlier, we do expect some announcements, a ruling, and we also expect the House to consider some urgent matters without notice.
And then thereafter, we do also expect the Vice President's question time, which takes about 45 minutes. Then we have two bills appearing on our order paper for today. These are the Income Tax Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 9 of 2025, and the Customs and Excise Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 10 of 2025. Both, as I said, coming up for consideration at second reading. So in case you've just tuned into Parliament TV and wondering why business has not commenced, this is due to the fact that there is no quorum. So once a quorum is constituted, business will commence. Stay tuned to the station that is indeed dedicated to bringing Parliament closer to you. Yes, indeed. Thank you very much. The quorum, once it's constituted, we expect business to continue. So two bills coming up for consideration.
Order, honorable members. I have one announcement and one short ruling. The announcement is, honorable members, I wish to recognize the presence in the public gallery of pupils and teachers from Redland School in Lusaka District. On behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, I warmly welcome our visitors in our midst. I thank you. You may take your seats. Honorable members, the ruling on a point of order raised on Wednesday, 11th June 2025 by Mr. Bimpundu, Member of Parliament for Nkana constituency, against Honorable M0cks, MP, Minister of Energy, for failing to disclose the purchase price of electricity by Copperbelt Energy Corporation, CEC, PLC from ZESCO Limited due to a non-disclosure clause contained in the bilateral agreement. Honorable members, the House will recall that on Wednesday, 11th June 2025, when the House was considering question for oral answer number 289, and Mr. Y. Mutale, a Member of Parliament for Chama North constituency, was on the floor, Mr. Bimpundu, Member of Parliament for Nkana constituency, raised a point of order. The point of order was raised pursuant to the National Assembly of Zambia Standing Orders 2024. In his point of order, Mr. Bimpundu, MP, inquired whether Honorable M0cks, MP, Minister of Energy, was in order not to review the purchase price of electricity by Copperbelt Energy Corporation, PLC, CEC, from ZESCO Limited due to a non-disclosure clause contained in the bilateral agreement. In my immediate response, I reserved my ruling in order for me to start the matter. I have since studied the matter and I now render my ruling. Honorable members, I wish once more to take this opportunity to address the issue relating to admissibility of points of order. Honorable members, Standing Order 139.3 of the National Assembly of Zambia, Standing Orders 2024, requires a member who wishes to raise a point of order to cite the standing order, law on privilege of members, rule of procedure or practice that has been allegedly breached. Further, Standing Order 139.4 provides that where a member does not cite the standing order, law on privilege of members, rule of procedure or practice breached, the presiding officer may insist on him or her doing so. And if he or she fails or does not adequately do so, the presiding officer may rule that the point of order is inadmissible. Honorable members, a review of the verbatim record of Wednesday, 11th June 2025, reveals that Mr. Bimpundu, MP, did not cite the specific standing order, law on privilege of members, rule of procedure or practice that was breached as required by Standing Order 139.3, as required by Standing Order 139.3. In that regard, the point of order raised by Mr. Bimpundu, MP, is inadmissible. I thank you. Agents matters without notice. The Honorable Member for Feira.
Speaker, thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving the floor fair. Madam Speaker, I raise, and I rarely do raise, urgent matters. The urgent matters directed the Honorable Vice President and Leader of Government Business in the House. Madam Speaker, since time immemorial and in the 80s, I and many Zambians have been attending the Zambia International Trade Fair, which is an international event showcasing Zambia's economic potential and also as a tourist issue where a lot of money has been made. Madam Speaker, I've also, as a young child then, I did enjoy, seeing foreign presidents coming and officially open together with, at that time, Dr. Kaunda and subsequently other presidents. Madam Speaker, is the Vice President in order not to explain to this country why there's been a shift that such an important international event would be shunned not only by foreign presidents, but our own president? Is she not in order to come and explain what is going on? Because this has never happened in the history of this country. And indeed,
all the honorable members, apparently they cannot hear what you are saying. I don't know whether, maybe you should be
Madam
more
Speaker, is in fact, ministers who are making that noise. Madam Speaker, the issue is that since time immemorial, the International Trade Fair, which is an international event where we showcase our economic potential and our commercial progress. And this event has, in most cases, been opened officially by foreign presidents and at the same time accompanied by our own president. For the first time in the history of this country, we have failed to attract a foreign president to come and officially open, and including ours. Is the vice president in order not to explain why this has failed? And many Zambians, including myself, I'm very much concerned, Madam Speaker. And I need those answers. I'm most obliged to submit. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Feira. I'm sure you know that that matter does not qualify to be raised as an urgent matter without notice. I think yesterday when certain questions were being asked, I had said that, sometimes it's difficult for us to sit in and listen to questions that are being asked which bring in a lot of extraneous issues, some of them even touching on the passing of our former president. So that matter does not qualify. But if you really want that matter to be discussed, I'll give you an opportunity to ask. You'll be the first one to ask so that Her Honor the Vice President can address that issue. Because you have raised it, and in the mind of the people, they are thinking that, the government failed to attend, the president failed to attend trade fair, no minister or president, foreign presidents attended, leaving speculation in the minds of the people. But since you have asked that question, I'll give you that opportunity for Her Honor the Vice President to address it, to answer your question. Thank you very much. So, with that guidance, we go to the next item on the agenda, on the order paper, which is Her Honor the Vice President's question time. So, we start with the Honorable Member for Feira.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, imagine I've been attempting to ask questions during Vice President question time, but failing. Madam Speaker.
Order, Honorable Members, can we tone down? Can we tone down so that we listen to the question and also that Her Honor the Vice President can get a clarity on what the question is all about for her to be able to answer it sufficiently. You may proceed, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, once again. Madam Speaker, I know most people may not appreciate international relations. Madam Speaker, the International Trade Fair, as an international event, has taken place since time immemorial, and at no time have we ever seen that international event opened by any other person other than foreign presidents, accompanied by our own president. This event, not only does it showcase our economic and commercial potential as a country, but it's also a tourist event, and there's a lot of value in terms of money coming into the economy and several other benefits that I may not outline as I speak. Madam Speaker, can the Vice President, and this is my question, explain to Zambians why the 2025 International Trade Fair under the UPND did not have a foreign president? Not even our own president. Not only was it shunned by foreign, but our own. As a young person, Madam Speaker, allow me, I indicated earlier that as a young person, I used to attend this event and I used to attend this from 1980 when I was living in Dola. It's quite an international event, which is so important. So I'm wondering, and many Zambians doing that, why have we shunned it, and why are other presidents shunning this event? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honor the Vice President.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And I would like to thank the Honorable Member for Feira for bringing out that he sees as a very important question. I think that sometimes we pick what we hear and make it a fact. The Honorable Member for Feira is a lawyer, I believe. And lawyers can twist things, but I believe they speak to the facts.
Honorable members, please, can we restrain ourselves? Please.
I agree with the Honorable Member, Madam, that this event has been going on for a long time. I hear from, from pre-colonial, 1956, before he was born. But to say there has never been a time when a president from another country has come to open is actually not true. Hopefully, he can come with the figures and the years and tell us the presidents that came from 1956 to date. It's not about what you remember. Here, memory is not enough. I think we need facts as put down. They have been honorable, even on your life, when we haven't had a president from another country. We have had. That is true. And two, you being a lawyer and speaking on behalf of the people of Feira, I don't know which legal provision was breached. If there is a legal provision that has been breached, it is a convention, yes, you can take it. But that is not by any written law. So there is nothing compelling. And it does not reduce the purpose of the trade fair. It still remains important. The people that came to display, they don't come on the day the president is going to officially open. They display. They come and participate. This president has worked to make Zambia attractive to investment. And this is exactly what people are coming for. The president himself spoke to what happened on that day. Is that not enough? Otherwise, for us, nothing has been breached. And it's not the first time that we haven't had an international president from another country. And Zambia is open for business. That is a business venture. And Zambia is growing, bringing more and more investment. That's what you need. Next, you may see another president come. That's another year. So that is the advice to you, Honorable. Thank you.
Thank you for the wisdom. The Honorable Member for Lungu Central.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Thank you very much, Your Honor, the Vice President. I want to echo your words which you've just spoken, that Zambia is open for business, and the people of Zambia are seeing that. We have just had three by-elections, and one by-election where the opposition could not even field a candidate. Because the people of Zambia have realized that the opposition have no agenda. They are dead. The opposition in Zambia is dead. They are now even using a man who has crossed over as a campaign tool. Now, Madam Vice President, what do you have to say for the people for the opposition in Zambia, which has no agenda, which is buried and dead. What do you have to say to them that are now that have now adopted a new strategy of using a man who's dead, who has passed on as a campaign tool? This is a Christian nation, and I know you as a Christian woman, a pastor for that matter. What is this unchristian phenomenon coming from the opposition, which is dead and buried in this country? I thank you, Madam President.
Oh, the Honorable Member for Feira, please, can you resume your seat? We need to maintain the quorum. You ask a question, I'm sure you would want to listen to other people's questions and answers as well. So please, if you can, the rules require that you sit in and listen. I'm sure I'm sure the Lord will provide for him during this time. Her Honor, the Vice President.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I thank the Honorable Member for Mungu Central, who asked a question as to why colleagues in the opposition who have lost all the 4, not 3, 4, because this other one where we went and opposed is also one of them. And he says they have no agenda. They have now resorted to using a dead man to campaign. Very, very little advice today to the opposition, because being Zambians, the ruling and the opposition are Zambians. We never use a dead man or a dead person to campaign. Because immediately you bring in that, Chiwa, that is what they will say where I come from. It's a ghost. All of us know that. You don't use and talk about a dead man like he's also among you and you can vote for him. You are invoking the wrong emotions in people. This is another mistake. Maybe they can make me their consultant. Colleagues, there is a lot that the opposition can do if they can calm down and sit and plan. They will be contributing to bring, for example, in this House, checks and balances. But you can't be in opposition and bring nothing. You want to use a dead man's, name. Please, let us respect that dead man. Let us respect. If you are failing, you are failing. Don't talk about a person who was defeated. You want him to be defeated in death again. Please, those that are using, the opposition, Madam Speaker, that are using the name of the late president are not doing justice to anybody, not to the dead, not at all. And we don't live among the dead in Zambia. So when you say the dead, you start, praising a dead person here, then you will be either a witch. I mean, this is our tradition. Don't do that, please. The man is gone. He did the best he could. He's gone. That's why we respect him, even though we didn't agree with him politically. You are confusing things. We didn't agree with him politically. We didn't hate him. But now, you see what you have done now. You have lost because you are using wrong tools. That's my advice. Thank you.
The Honorable Member for Chama North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity. Good morning, Vice President. Madam Speaker, the Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security yesterday issued a mysterious statement over the killings in Mfumbwe. Unfortunately, some of us could not be be accorded to ask a question because of limitation of time. Madam Speaker, we have the Zambia Intelligence Security Services in this country, and also a number of police checkpoints on our public roads. The minister stated that there were more than 50,000 miners, illegal miners in Mufumbwe, meaning that this was done over a long period of time, these movements. So don't you think, Your Honor, that there was a lapse on your part of your government? Because if the security forces were on top of things, they should have alerted the government to take precautionary measures. So don't you think that your government should take full responsibility for the killings in Mufumbwe because your government was not proactive? I submit.
Her Honor, the Vice President.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I would like to thank the Honorable Member for Chairman North for that question. Basically, he should be concerned indeed, like all of us, about this illegality that is going on in the mining sector, particularly in the gold mining sector. I think the Mufumbwe is gold mining, Lumezi is gold mining, there is Kasempa, it's gold mining, Mumbwa is gold mining, Impika is gold mining. Basically, there is a lot of illegality of mining. But to say there was a lapse, I don't fully agree with the Honorable Member that it was because of a lapse. We have laws in our country. And one of the things that we provide for in our democratic country is the free movement of people. People move. And it is not easy if you find me on the road going towards the east for you to know that I'm going to Lumezi to try and mine gold. That is not there. This government has done a lot in this sector. But illegality is illegality as it is. Illegality is illegality as it is. It is not an allowed thing. I'll tell you that something illegal that we all hate in this country, and if we are to list crimes, we would say murder is the one we hate most. But it still occurs. You cannot put it on the laps of a government. This government, illegality is done by people that have decided to fight the law. Because everybody knows. And this government has opened, Madam Speaker, that people can get artisanal licenses and protect their little mines. But no, people have chosen to go and commit. This is a crime in itself. Illegality means it is a kind of crime. And that is why I heard the minister yesterday say, unfortunately, there are leaders that are also beneficiaries of what is going on. And he was very clear yesterday that he was not looking this side or this side, he was looking at leaders. And even mentioned, and this is true, colleagues, we want to fight this. All of us must speak the same language. Because you cannot allow this kind of illegality where people are going in their thousands and they overrun a place within a day or two. It is not an easy thing to control. And when the police goes in, or the police go in their numbers, then we start criticizing them. Let us stand together, because this is not about UPND. This is about our country. The peace that we enjoy must be protected by each one of us. Honorable, all of us in this house and all leaders out there. Let us stamp out this. Let people get licenses, because then they have a duty to protect their own tenement. Not the way people are doing it. Even if the resource is not bringing anything good for us as a country. I think the minister spoke to that. And I totally agree with you, Honorable Minister, that the resources that are coming from this wonderful, rich resource, which has just, it's being discovered. It's not like the government knew. And now we are even complaining, why are you doing the countrywide mapping of resources? It's important, because that is the preparation. How do we protect? You talked of protected areas. If we don't know where certain minerals are found. Colleagues, I appreciate the concern, except the concern is wanting to put a blame. No, let us not have a finger pointing. This is a situation that has come. We must curb it in its infancy. We have to stop it now. If we don't, it is not about UPND. I say things that are true because I'm open. One day, it will be people who may not even be here, or people, some of them will be here, who will be here. Is that the kind of country you want? No. Colleagues, not those, eh? Okay. But I'm speaking my mind. We have said we'll be here 50 years.
Yeah, that's right.
Even longer, or shorter. But the point is, remember, you are a leader, and you have to fight. Whether you are there, even being there in your position, madam, is a privilege. You are a leader. Let us fight what we have to fight together. None of us should support illegality that has come into mining. Yes, we have a duty. The minister yesterday, on behalf of the ministry, thank you, is here, is working to see how sanity can come into the industry, particularly gold mining, which is a new thing for us. We are working, looking at other countries, where he has gone to get how to put together legal framework, administrative frameworks, so that this mining becomes, profitable to all of us, to all the Zambians, and stop illegality, which can bring total chaos in our country if we don't work together. On this one, Honorable Member for Chama North, let us stand together, agree together, bring solutions that you think we have not thought of. That is the way to go. You are a leader, just like I am. Except I'm Vice President, you are MP. Huh? Thank you.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Member for Kantanshi. Kantanshi.
Apologies, Madam Speaker. Your Honor, the Vice President, I come from a constituency which is purely mining, and I would like to once again thank the government for working hard to put back Mupani on the rails, and also the fact that the government managed to increase the shareholding to about 49% from the 20 we had. Madam Speaker, my concern is after all this hard work, the government again has pulled back to the extent that now the same wrongdoings that were happening in the past of suppliers not being paid on time, contractors being terminated as and when, leaving our people without employment. Madam Speaker, I have 100 miners right now, as I visited my constituency a few days ago, who have not had their salaries for the last 3 months. And it's all because of what is currently happening in Mupani, where government somehow is not being felt, because that's when wrong things start to happen. What is your message, Madam Vice President, to Mupani? What is your strong message so that our people can benefit from the hard work that this government put in to put Mupani back on the rails? Thank you.
Thank you, Her Honor, the Vice President.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I would like to thank the Honourable Member for Kantanshi for that concern in Mopani. I may have missed 1-2 points along the way, trying to listen carefully, but generally what you have said is in Mopani, there are a number of wrong things going on, even though government has increased shareholding in the company. you believe that what is going on is repeating the past of what was going on before Mopani literally went under. You have talked of suppliers not being paid. You have talked of termination of contracts, I believe, at will. And, people not being paid. I don't know whether it is the actual employees, salaried employees, not being paid, and therefore creating an environment which is not anticipated by Zambians and by this government. Honorable, generally, I would speak to any company that is here in Zambia. We are attracting companies to Zambia. But what is important is for these companies, including Mopani, to adhere, number one, to what we have agreed with them. And we have, within what we say, when we say Zambians must be given preference, really, in companies like this. Because this is how we are going to create jobs. That is what we have promised. And standing here, I've said before that jobs are not created directly by government. It's too limited. Jobs are created in the private sector. So we expect our colleagues running private companies here, or indeed where we have shareholding, to be able to do the right things. Suppliers, when Zambians are there and they are able, they must be looked at. That is the way it should be. Contracts should not be terminated at will, because I believe every contract should have, terms and conditions in there. And, not paying people when the company is seemingly viable, I wouldn't know. So this is my advice, that let us adhere to that which we have agreed on. Whether it's Mopani, whether it's another company, let us not abrogate the laws of our country. Let us work as they get the profit. Let them ensure that Zambians can get something. But on the specifics, you may have the details of who and who. My minister is here. Those are things you sit, you chat, and then he will sit down, because he's our representative in Mopani. This is specific to Mopani. Please, you don't even have to wait. You come from there. Go to the minister, sit them down. You can even invite the MP so that you have a chat. What is going on? What is going on? Who is giving the suppliers? Is it that Zambians can't? If they can, I believe that is a wrongdoing. But you have to have the evidence through the minister and sit with Mopani. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Member for Chipili.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Your Honor, the Vice President, Cash for Work was a very good project, which, no, I'm saying was a good project, and I supported the intervention that government had taken. But now, the money that this government is dishing out is being misused. I'm saying so because of what I saw where I went. But I want to ask this question because, in my view, the purpose of that project was achieved. Excellent. Now, I want to find out why we have, as a government, continued this project, which had already achieved its intended goal. So I want you, Your Honor, the Vice President, to give me 4 reasons why you think we can continue this project. I'm saying so because where I went, listen, I found 4 people who were drinking somewhere in one of the councils. They were saying, this is black table. This is cash for work. Then I wanted to find out who are these people who are talking of cash for work. Then I was told, there was one council secretary, one was the director planning, the other one was the director of finance. Then I asked, why? They said, no, they were paying the money on Friday, and that day was the Saturday. So I want to find out, to help 4 reasons why we should continue this project when we have achieved the purpose. Thank you.
Oh, the honorable members, we are losing time. We are losing on time. Please, can we maintain some silence? Her Honor, the Vice President.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I would like to thank the Honorable Member for Chipili, who is concerned about the cash for work program. He starts by saying when this was introduced by this responsible government, he supported it. And I believe every other person must have supported it. Now he's saying it has achieved its intended purpose. Why then are we still continuing when it is being misused? And he gives an example of 4 people he met where they were drinking. So maybe they were partaking together. Yeah. 4 people were drinking and they were saying, this is cash for work. And even he names them. He knows the place. He names them as a council secretary, director of something, I didn't. The director of finance, okay, director of finance at the local council. 4, maybe the other 2 I didn't hear. Madam, for 4, I missed the 4 reasons. Except what I heard, Honorable, is that your concern is this program has achieved, it should be stopped because we found 4 people. Honestly, do you cancel a program because 4 people have been found misusing?
His question, Your Honor, was that if you can give 4 reasons why cash for work should continue.
Me, I should give you 4 reasons.
4 reasons.
Oh, I see.
Which was subsequently referred to as 4 cousins.
Okay. 4, I didn't hear the 4, sorry, madam. I should give you 4 reasons. I hope I'll think of some. But for now, I'm trying to understand the scenario. 4 people are drinking from the council, whether there were 2 ahead of this, but you found people drinking, and they were alleging, or they were saying the money was from cash for work. And these are the people that are supposed to be part of distribution or giving, paying people that had worked. Number 1, it is wrong for you, even in research, to do a sample of 1 thing. And that gives you a conclusion. You will fail if it was an exam. And to give that answer to the people, say you have found a solution because you saw 1, that is one situation. I think what you saw, Honorable, be with me. Honorable, I am responding to yours. Here we must really talk, because if I'm speaking to myself, you can follow me after and say what you said. But the point is you cannot make a conclusion after just seeing 1 situation of 4 people drinking. That is one reason that your reasoning is not working very well. Two, you have said these people, you saw them, you know them, and you are reporting here instead of the police. That is true, because that's just an example. It's not a true one. I thought you said you went somewhere and you saw them when they were saying. Is that what he said? So what I'm saying is, sir, reporting here is something we can talk about. But honestly, you can't report them to the police. If you can manage to have proper evidence to say these said, surely that is the route you should have taken rather than condemn the whole thing. 3, madam, because 4, I don't know whether I'll manage the 4. The third one is that this, it cannot work. We have to continue. The purpose of the cash for work, yes, was responding to the drought. But remember that these that were being given were unemployed people also. And even participation in agriculture, after they had lost everything, may be very limited. And therefore, as long as there is money from finance, this is a program that is worthy keeping, so that we don't have people suffer to that extent. The fourth, I think I've failed on number 4. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for M0cks.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Your Honor, the Vice President, good morning. Your Honor, the Vice President, the President of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, made a presidential directive to the Secretary to Cabinet, directing him that couples who work in different places are brought together to, among other things, reduction of divorces, which are now rampant, financial strain, maintaining 2 separate homes, travel expenses, social isolation, feeling disconnection from their family and their loved ones. I have such couples in my constituents. My question to you, Your Honor, the Vice President, is how far has this presidential directive gone? Or what is the government position on this issue, which has taken too long to be actualized? I submit, Madam Speaker.
Her Honor, the Vice President. Her Honor, the Vice President.
You see, you have, Madam Speaker, she has brought a very important question that even my minister has forgotten who she is. She is shouting, "Fiupofia onaika." Thank you very much. That's a very important question. I may not have picked all these things that happen because of the couples living apart. And that is true. The president gave this order. Now you have said, how far have we gone? It has taken too long. I am being very sincere here that this is a countrywide situation. So sometimes when you are looking at M0cks only, you may not see what is going on. Yes, that's why I'm using the example. Because you are a member of parliament and your concern number 1 is your constituents. That is where you are getting the information from. But this is going on even up to now, to try and put couples together. It's a little slow. Let me tell you what is happening also. Hopefully you are aware, honorable members, Madam Speaker. Even as we recruit people, some of them, because they want the jobs so desperately, they will say, me, it is in Rwangwa. And then, hardly 6 months, my husband is in Lusaka. So we have this overwhelming situation. But where it is possible this is happening, that I can tell you. I know of a few couples that have been reunited. But that is also, it goes with what is your profession, where are you working? If you are in government, you are a teacher, I'm just using the open one, then there is nowhere for you to go near where your husband works. What do you think will happen? So you put on record and continuously wait until a vacancy is found or created. Otherwise, we will have couples go, one part of the couple is not working because there is nowhere to work. It's a complicated issue, but the government is working on that because we completely agree that it is important. We agree with the president that it is important for couples to be together for many, many reasons, including the ones you have given and far beyond. So it's important. The secretary to the cabinet is working on this. And even the couples, when they ask, they also indicate that there is a place where they can work. It works faster that way. But we are working on it. The secretary to the cabinet is adhering to the presidential directive on this matter, and it's important for us. But let us tell people that want employment, not to lie, just to get a job, and then afterwards say, my husband is in Kalulushi, and you are compounding the situation. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Kabwata.
I'm grateful, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity. Your Honor, the Vice President, we are grateful with the investment that we've seen, especially in the education and training of a girl child. Today we can celebrate the two vice presidents who have one female now, and in the past we have the first woman speaker in the National Assembly. If you look at the statistics of recruitment of the girl child, it's actually higher than the boy child. The girls are the ones now who are coming up with 6 points. Today, the boy child's future is actually under attack. If we were to get the statistics of the boys that are languishing in prisons, the boys that are languishing with drugs, addiction, Chinama, and the boys who are also called junkies outside there, there are many. Now, Madam, Your Honor, the Vice President, I wanted to find out whether government intends to come up with an action plan to save the future of a boy child who I feel is under attack. I thank you.
Honor the Vice President.
Iwe quantity, iwe. This is quality, man. Thank you very much. Madam Speaker and the Honorable Member for Kabwata, his concern is that looking at what is happening, it is that the girl child seems to be doing better than the boy child, starting right from school. In those days, you are right, the girl child, even selection up to, is it Form 1 or grade 7, whatever, the girl child results were far much lower than the boy child. That was the expectation. And you have agreed, you have said girls are performing better. Boys are in prisons, they are junkies, they are what? Although boys have always been higher in number in prisons than girls. I think that is a true record. But maybe now it is a little too higher. The question is government doing anything in order to help the boy child whom you say is under attack? I think what is important is to understand what is attacking the boy child. That is just what comes to mind. If they are under attack, what is attacking the boy child? I think it is not just me here. I think all of us can think through, Madam Speaker. You, Madam, I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to talk about you, but the Speaker had spoken to this issue, if I remember correctly, that at the end of the day, if we do nothing for the boy child, our good girl will marry the junkie or a convict. Therefore, that is true. And that's why all of us, this should not be left to the Vice President standing here. We must all be thinking, what is attacking the boy child more than the girl child? Yes, we have had affirmative action in this country for the girls and women, but maybe it is time to think of what kind of affirmative action should be there for the boys. It is important, I can't tell you standing here, Madam, but it is important for us to think and see, would there be any policy that would help the boy child? It is good. I think we have started thinking, except for now, we haven't put a finger or fingers on the different, interventions that can be put in place. But also, when we are worried about the boy child, where is the father figure? Where are the father figures in the homes? I'm sorry, I'm over-listening. Somebody saying, forget about fathers. We can't forget, because they are the ones that should show the boy child how to behave. So the absence or this fathering of children left like that is one of the attacks on the boy child. That is one of the attacks. Basically, the home is number one. The homes where these children are coming from is the number one mentor. Exactly. So as we are here, as leaders, we should lead by example. How we are giving birth to these children, how we are mentoring them in our homes, how we are helping them to see the values, and then the school and government will also come on. But honestly, it's a very important question. Madam, I can't say I can give a comprehensive answer, but let us all continue thinking. Even in this house, people can start thinking within the committee to look at which programs can be done, what kind of policy, because we are, and if you go to these illegal miners, you will find that it is mainly the boys, although I've heard voices of girls also, but mainly it is the boys. So what are we doing? Important question. Let us all think about it. I can't give an answer right now.
Thank you. The Honourable Member for Mukaika.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity. Your Honor, the Vice President, I'll be quick because I've seen time is running out. The UPND government was celebrating the achievements in the 4 years of Aroring. Now, they were saying kwenyu, 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 which means they were clapping or tick, tick, tick. Now, that was in southern provinces, if I remember them. Now, the eastern province, coming from eastern province, I would like the people of eastern province to do the same, kwenyu, kwenyu, kwenyu. And I want to be part of them. I just want to remind you, and the Chipata Rinda's Road, when are you putting the serious contractor there? Katete Chanida Road, when are you putting the serious contractor there? Katete fruit processing plant, you have failed to open that plant. It's already done, you have failed to open it. We want to do the kwenyu, kwenyu, kwenyu. When are you doing these projects in Eastern Province so that people in Eastern Province can do kwenyu. I thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Order. Honorable Member for Lundazi, you were clapping. That is against our rules. You were clapping. Please just go through standing order 214. Was it 215? You are not supposed to clap or applaud while you are in the House. Just a reminder, polite and gentle reminder. Her Honor, the Vice President.
Madam Speaker, thank you so much, and I would like to thank the Honourable Member for Mkaika for that very important question. UPND achievements, except the comparison, is that in Southern Province there was kwenyu. And then Eastern Province, are you sure? It is important. There is, Madam Speaker, you have asked now, listen to the answer.
Order, honorable members, please, let's listen to the answer.
Indeed.
Honorable member for Lunte, honorable member for Mkaika, please tone down.
Good.
Including the honorable member for Mukushi South, please tone down. No? Can we allow Her Honor to answer the question, please? Her Honor, the Vice President.
Yeah. Madam, there is what is called willful blindness.
Yeah.
Are you not aware that we are doing Chipata Chadiza kwenyu? Are you not aware that there is free education in Eastern Province kwenyu? Are you not aware that we have increased the CDF? Are you not aware that we are even sending children to skills training under CDF? Are you not aware that in Eastern Province there are many young people who have been recruited as teachers, health workers? Are you not aware? Are you not aware that in the Eastern Province we are doing Katete, Chanida? Those issues, you must sort them out. I talked about that. We otherwise, remember, you know, you yourself. We are doing Lundazi Chipata, isn't it? Not Chanida. Kwenyu. So, we are even going to build a milling plant in Petauke. Kwenyu. I can go on, it's only time. I have many kwenyus in Eastern Province. Mkaika, please, you are clapping again. You will be caught. Mkaika, let us look at the kwenyus. If there are other things, that is true. We can't do everything at the same time, madam. We will continue next year. And this kind of language should be stronger at the budget time. We will continue. Lives of our Zambian people must improve under this government, under the leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema. So Eastern Province,
Order, honorable members, that concludes that segment. I have two more announcements. The first one is, honorable members, I wish to recognize the presence in the public gallery of pupils and teachers from Top Grade Academy in Kafiwe District. On behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, I warmly welcome our visitors in our midst. I thank you. You may take your seats. The next announcement, honorable members, I wish to also recognize the presence in the public gallery of pupils and teachers from Pakachele Community School in Lusaka District. On behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, I warmly welcome our visitors in our midst. I thank you. You may take your seats. Thank you. There will be another announcement regarding the boreholes. Just a reminder, honorable members, you have not been very responsive, so we'll make an announcement later, just as a reminder. The clerk will now read the orders of the day.
The Income Tax Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 9 of 2025, second reading.
The Honorable Minister of Finance and National Planning.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I beg to move that the bill be read now a second time.
The question is that the bill be now read a second time. Any debate? The Honorable Minister of Finance and National Planning.
Madam Speaker, the bill before this House is principally seeking to amend the Income Tax Act so as to A, increase the withholding tax from 15% to 20% on government securities, B, introduce a minimum alternative tax at the rate of 1% to counter tax avoidance and broaden the tax base, and C, provide for matters connected with or incidental to the foregoing. Madam Speaker, this bill is straightforward, and I commend it to the House. Madam Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you very much. Any further debate? The chairperson of the Planning and Budgeting Committee, the Honorable Member for Momba.
Madam Speaker, in accordance with the terms of reference as provided for Understanding Order number 204, 4D of the National Assembly Standing Orders 2024, the Planning and Budgeting Committee was tasked to scrutinize the Income Tax Amendment Bill number 9 of 2025. Madam Speaker, in order to finance the supplementary estimates of expenditure number 1 of 2025, the Minister of Finance and National Planning introduced new tax measures aimed at enhancing domestic resource mobilization, curbing tax avoidance, and broadening the tax base. Accordingly, Madam Speaker, the Income Tax Amendment Bill number 9, 2025 seeks to amend the Income Tax Act, Chapter 323 of the laws of Zambia. The bill, Madam Speaker, proposes to introduce a minimum alternative tax at the rate of 1% to counter tax avoidance and broaden the tax base. Further, it seeks to increase the withholding tax rate on interest earned from government securities from 15% to 20%. Madam Speaker, in considering the bill, the committee interacted with various stakeholders, including government agencies, private sector representatives, and professional associations. I urge honorable members to refer to the committee's report for a detailed account of the views represented by various stakeholders. Madam Speaker, on the proposed minimum alternative tax, stakeholders generally support its intended objective of curbing tax avoidance, particularly among businesses that continuously declare losses despite recording significant turnover. However, they raised concerns that the flat 1% turnover tax may have unintended consequences on businesses. In particular, Madam Speaker, stakeholders cautioned that high turnover but low margin sectors such as agriculture, manufacturing, and retail could be disproportionately affected. The tax would apply even during loss and low profit-making periods where the corporate income tax liability is lower than the liability under the minimum alternative tax. This would, Madam Speaker, result in businesses being taxed on turnover despite generating a marginal profit or just breaking even. Stakeholders further noted that introducing such a significant measure in the middle of the financial year could disrupt budgeting cycles and operational plans. Some stakeholders, Madam Speaker, expressed concern over the lack of consulting with the business community prior to its introduction. Madam Speaker, having reviewed the bill and engaged stakeholders, the committee supports the principle of introducing a minimum alternative tax. However, the committee expresses concern that its current design could impose an unfair burden on genuine loss-making entities, as well as on profit-making businesses operating within thin margins, Madam Speaker. In this regard, Madam Speaker, the committee recommends that the government consider suspending the introduction of the measure until adequate industry consultation have been undertaken to address equity concerns and allow for sensitization of the business community. Furthermore, Madam Speaker, the committee strongly recommends that any significant tax policy changes should be implemented only at the start of the financial year. Madam Speaker, another major proposal is to increase withholding tax on interest from government securities from 15% to 20%. While the objective to raise revenue is understandable, the stakeholders strongly cautioned that the increase may reduce the attractiveness of government securities, particularly among retail and tax-sensitive institutional investors. Moreover, Madam Speaker, the committee observes that the measure could undermine the objectives of the government's medium-term debt management strategy 2024 to 2026, which aims to reduce the government's borrowing costs and deepen the domestic debt market. As such, Madam Speaker, the committee recommends that the measure be reassessed in light of its potential to increase borrowing costs and dampen investor confidence. Madam Speaker, the committee is also concerned that the bill does not specify the effective date for the new withholding tax rate. Stakeholders emphasized that the retrospective application of tax measures that impose the burden on taxpayers is inconsistent with sound tax policy principles. The committee, Madam Speaker, therefore recommends that the new withholding tax rate be applied only to newly issued government securities and that the effective date be explicitly stated. This will ensure legal certainty and safeguard market confidence. As I conclude, Madam Speaker, I wish to state that the committee supports the Income Tax Amendments Bill number 9 of 2025, subject to its recommendations on the design and implementation timelines of both the minimum alternative tax and the withholding tax rate increase. Allow me to express my sincere gratitude to all the stakeholders who appeared before the committee, Madam Speaker, and made the valuable submissions. Appreciation also goes to you, Madam Speaker, and to the Office of the Clerk of the National Assembly for your guidance and support throughout the committee's work. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. The Honourable Member for Lungu.
Madam Speaker, thank you so much. Madam Speaker, the supplementary budget has already passed the second reading. Refusing to support this money bill is indirectly sabotaging the supplementary budget. However, Madam Speaker, I would like to make a comment on this particular bill in the sense that it has introduced clearly the issue of policy consistency in the face of a nation that decided to elect UPND government who promised policy consistency. Madam Speaker, this tax law will be changed in the middle of the year. Businessmen and women have already made plans for their businesses for the rest of the financial year. Those investors who invested in government securities knew that for the rest of this year, there is only going to be a 15% withholding tax in the middle of the year. The government is saying they will increase this withholding tax to 20%. Madam Speaker, that is bad for business. That is bad for investors. You do not tell investors in the middle of the year that you are increasing their taxation. It is bad, Madam Speaker. Policy consistency, tax consistency is good for planning. And when businesses plan well, Madam Speaker, what you may have is business performance, boosting business performance. When you boost business performance, Madam Speaker, you increase economic opportunities for all those many people who are out there who are unemployed, who are looking to UPND government to create employment. They are not saying employ all of us in government. They are saying create an environment which attracts investment, create an environment which promotes business so that those businesses can create employment opportunities. Do you know, Madam, that businesses won't end at creating employment? They'll also create business opportunities. When UPND government chases people from trading in the street, they must find opportunities elsewhere. And where will that be? It is from the business. And this is a business you are telling they can't plan now. Many factors in the business environment change every day. Madam, investors who have invested in most of these manufacturing plants don't even know how long they will have electricity. They don't even know how much the kwacha will cost tomorrow. They do not know how much fuel is going to cost next month. This is indeed unpredictability when it comes to business. And it should not even come to taxation. That is my problem. You can imagine, you don't know, you can't predict the availability of electricity. You can't predict the cost of the kwacha. You can't predict nothing. Now it should come to tax. Even tax, Madam. Madam Speaker, it is important for UPND government to realize that these policy changes are affecting business. And as much as they do, they are affecting the ordinary Zambians who are looking up to businessmen and women to create opportunities for them. So, as I said, it is difficult to clearly say I don't support this because the budget has already gone through the second reading. I'll be seen as a hypocrite. Even though we support, this is painful, Madam Speaker. It is painful. UPND government needs to change. They need to change in the manner they look at the suffering business community. The business community is struggling, Madam, because of these policy inconsistencies. But if those who listened to UPND when they were sitting on this side of the house, remember how they promoted themselves on their ability to promote business or policy consistency. Remember, Madam? And when you look at what they are doing now, you are confused. You really think this is not a set of people. But they are the ones. Madam, they are the ones. Madam Speaker, I feel so bad that I can stand here, be debating this bill in the middle of the year. I propose that UPND should think thoroughly about 2026, madam. Because if they come back again with these adjustments in the middle of 2026, it will be very difficult for those who believe that they had capacity to remain consistent with their promises, capacity to remain consistent with the way they view those who invest. Madam, one diplomat not long ago was speaking in a very high-level meeting where he told UPND government that you have failed to create an environment to attract American investors. Let me tell you, these are the issues. These are the issues. There is no serious investor who can invest in an economy where there is no predictability, where they can't properly plan their business. There is no investor who can be thinking about a nation where they can't even determine when electricity is going to be available for their factory, madam. And this is the time when some minister will come from another country to come and thank UPNG for their export of power to their country, Madam Speaker. So I am deeply, deeply concerned, and I wish to urge the Honorable Minister of Finance to take charge. These people, if he's being misled to do these things, the people who are misleading him, he must identify them. Maybe he must look back at those people they sent to holding position, Madam Speaker. Those people who are just earning money for nothing. Maybe some of those have got capabilities to help the minister project a budget in a manner that does not let him to come back in the middle of the year to come and start adjusting, adjusting tax policies. Madam Speaker, I wish to end by saying it is important for UPND to reflect. In Jesus' name.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Chilubi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The people of Chilubi would like to add their voice to the bill in the House. Madam Speaker, this bill is coming through in an economic environment which is predominated by foreigners. Foreigners, Madam Speaker, I don't mean by color. I know that there are Zambians of different color. They may be white, they may be Indians and many other. But when I talk about that, I'm talking about foreigners who have come through the foreign direct investment window. Madam Speaker, many of the Zambians, there's some noise that is coming from here, which is very disturbing.
Oh, the honorable members, please. They are your members there. You are disturbing the honorable member for Chilubi. Please, can you tone down as you consult? May the honorable member continue.
Madam Speaker, what I'm talking about is that the current economic environment is not favorable to Zambians. It's not favorable to Zambians because many of the Zambians have no capital investment. Many of the Zambians lack equipment and further, properly to compete, they lack skill in the current economy. Madam Speaker, what this bill is suggesting is active participation of government in the money market. And active participation of government in the money market, among other things, can close what is called crowding out effect. And the crowding out effect, Madam Speaker, comes with it with a lot of factors that destabilizes the economy further. What we are creating, Madam Speaker, by this particular bill, the special income tax bill, is that we are suffocating the very economy we are supposed to save. And how are we doing that, Madam Speaker? I first want to declare that the Income Tax Act and the one on exercise, customs and exercise duty are those that are always amended. And this particular bill is rightly before Parliament when we follow how we are supposed to carry, because whenever we introduce a budget, this is one of the acts that are supposed to be affected, And whenever we introduce a supplementary budget, as it was, this is one of the acts that are supposed to be affected. But, Madam Speaker, it is about how we go about
the Honorable Member for Mutale, are you knocking off? We still need your presence here. May the Honorable Member for Chiruvi continue. Sorry.
It's about how we go about the business that we conduct. And looking at the economic environment, Madam Speaker, the people that are likely to suffer, because we are talking about government securities here, are those that are investing in, say, things like bonds, treasury bills, and so forth. Now, when we look at the people that invest in government securities, we are looking at Zambians, some of the Zambians who have worked and they have saved some money. They have gotten their gratuity or pension, then they want to invest in there so that it can pay them something. And then we are bringing in the withholding tax in that money market. Madam Speaker, some of the people that want to invest in government securities are people that are running Zambian-driven companies. And these Zambian-driven companies currently are suffocating among them because of the energy crisis that we have. It's a crisis. We have an energy crisis that is affecting production costs, which are being taken to the consumer or the end user of those products. Such that, Madam Speaker, this looks a small issue, but at the end of the day, it has got a trickle-down effect, a negative trickle-down effect that is going to make most of us suffer and pay, even when we do not invest in it. We are not involved in the money market per se. Madam Speaker, when we look at the economic environment further, we know that after the privatization of 225 state-owned companies, Zambia lost the economic spine as in terms of state control. And that made state to remain, the government to remain just mainly with a regulatory role to play in the economy. Meaning that much of what we have now, we are not even controlling much. Even when we come to this house and say we are just 16% of volumes increasing because of artisanal mining, in terms of export volumes, we cannot even account for it properly because our participation in the economy, especially as government, is very low. Even with the framework of the Industrial Development Corporation, which has got some state-owned, which can control certain key factors of the economy, so that we trigger away the economy from a parasite one to a productive one. We have left these things to the wind. And introducing such, especially when it comes to issues of how we manage our policy rate, is really going to kill the country in a larger manner than we think. I know that a pen can change a lot of things. A sentence can affect a lot of things. But this particular sentence, this particular amendment in this will affect more than what we can see because of the current standing of our economic environment. The people of Chiruvi would have loved that the broadening of tax base would have gone into areas of natural resources. We tap from there. How are we using, for instance, our mukula? How are we using our gold? Even with the Zam gold, which we were told that other day, that it has been turned into an aggregator. Zam gold was supposed to be a company that was supposed to manage these mushrooming gold mines, which are not even controlled properly. But we are now going for measures that are going to suffocate the economy further because we have not realized and put premium on the natural resources. And this is now where we go in a bit of stranded measures that should just look at where we are seated within the radius, is it the circumference of where we are seated. instead of looking at how else we can bring in this. And, Madam Speaker, we have the water, we have the minerals, we have whatever we can mention. I don't know why we cannot extend the reeking, resources which are just going in wrong hands to all those areas. And then we rush to participating in the money market, which causes a crowding effect. Madam Speaker, the people of Truvi would like to support this because it's legal, but they have supported with those observations. The bill is, I know that it's supportive to what has been passed as a supplementary budget, but it's not well seated where a villager from Truvi is concerned. Madam Speaker, I submit.
Thank you very much. The radius and circumference where we are seated. The Honorable Member for Kamfinsa.
Madam Speaker, allow me to add a few comments to the report that has been submitted before this August House, Madam Speaker. And I will draw your attention, Madam Speaker, to page 4 of the report, and I hope that the Minister of Finance has been able to refer to page 4. Page 4, Madam Speaker, there's a paragraph which reads, and I quote, so that I can bring everyone up to speed with what we are discussing today, Madam Speaker. Page 4, this should be paragraph number 1. Actually, paragraph number 1, which reads, moreover, given the prevailing tight monetary conditions and persistent inflationary pressures, stakeholders expressed concern that the proposed increase in withholding tax could further erode investor confidence. This is particularly worrying in light of declining subscription rates for Treasury bills observed in the first half of 2024. Madam Speaker, this is what your report is saying. Your report is saying, after stakeholders were invited to appear before the committee regarding this issue of increasing the withholding tax from 15% to 20%, there's a concern that once this is effected, Madam Speaker, we are going to have a challenge with the issue of subscription. Subscription simply means government is looking for money, and then they announce that can you buy government securities so that we're able to lend money to government, and then government is able to utilize that money for public services. Madam Speaker, in 2023, the Minister of Finance requested this Parliament to approve 15.5 billion domestic borrowing, meaning government securities. 2024, the Minister of Finance requested this Parliament to approve domestic borrowing, which are government securities, 16.3 billion. This year, the Minister of Finance again requested this Parliament to approve domestic borrowing, Madam Speaker, which are government securities to the tune of 15.4 billion kwacha. In short, Madam Speaker, this government and many other governments have been using domestic borrowing through government securities. Now, the report is saying if we increase from 15% to 20% the withholding tax, Madam Speaker, already the subscription has been low. So I'm wondering from where I'm standing, Madam Speaker. We use this as an instrument to borrow. We use government securities, Madam Speaker, to raise money for the Ministry of Finance. And the Ministry of Finance is saying, let us increase the tax on let us increase the withholding tax on government securities. Madam Speaker, in essence, we are basically saying, on one hand, we want the same income to come through to help provide public services. And that is on record in this particular Parliament. On the other hand, Madam Speaker, we are saying, let's increase withholding tax on this same source of revenue. I would have expected the Minister of Finance to tell this particular Parliament that the intention is to achieve the following objective. If the intention is to raise money, Madam Speaker,
The question I'm asking the Minister of Finance, how many citizens will still be interested to provide money to Bank of Zambia in form of government securities if they know that the return on that investment is low? Because if you are paying 15% withholding tax, Madam Speaker, and you are told that you will now be paying 20%, automatically as someone who has a bit of money, you will then be reluctant to lend money to Bank of Zambia. So my understanding is that on one hand we want the money, but on the other hand, Madam Speaker, we are increasing the tax on that particular investment. We will not be able to achieve these particular targets in terms of raising money in the domestic market. The domestic market, Madam Speaker, which is the subject matter today, are government securities. Why are we increasing taxation on government securities, Madam Speaker? We want to raise money for a supplementary budget. But at the same time, how will people be willing to put money in government securities? Why should someone give money to Bank of Zambia in form of treasury bills for 90 days, Madam Speaker, when they know that the returns have been reduced? I would have expected that the minister would have given us other options, other means of raising money, other than increasing the percentage from 15% to 20%. And I want to remind the Minister of Finance, Minister, you are aware that in the old days, there used to be a discount rate on government bonds. You bid 400,000 kwacha, Bank of Zambia will tell you, we've discounted, give us 380,000 kwacha. There used to be savings. The policy was changed by this government, Madam Speaker, to vary the terms of government bonds. You now buy government bonds at par, meaning you invest 400,000 kwacha. After 15 years, you get back your 400,000 kwacha plus the coupon that you get every 6 months. The terms were changed. I didn't expect that the old government bonds had their terms affected. Those that invested 15 years ago, Madam Speaker, the terms of bonds were never changed. I would have hoped that this particular decision, which has been announced today by the Minister of Finance, would not have affected those that have already invested in government bonds. My submission, therefore, Madam Speaker, as I conclude, is that it sounds very interesting that we want the money. We want money from government bonds. Minister, you want money from treasury bills, but you are adjusting the withholding tax. And that adjustment of withholding tax, Madam Speaker, is removing the incentive. The reason why people decide to buy government securities is because there is some return on that investment. If that return has been reduced through this government decision, Madam Speaker, we are not going to raise the same money that we want to raise from the domestic market. The people of Kanfinsa, therefore, submit that we wish you could have given us other alternatives to raise money for the supplementary budget. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. The Honourable Member for Zambezi East.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity to debate the motion that is on the floor of the House that speaks to the Income Tax Amendment Bill number 9 of 2025. Madam Speaker, the bill is aimed at increasing domestic revenue mobilization, which is in tune with the minister's pronouncement at the time he came to present the budget. And honorable members, you should be relating each action that is undertaken now with the pronouncements. When we are opening Parliament, Madam Speaker, there is always the presidential speech. The presidential speech is preceded by the Honorable Minister of Finance and National Planning's speech. That gives the direction of the country and how the economy will be run. And if you read the minister's speech at the outset of this Parliament, this session of Parliament, you will notice that there was emphasis on domestic revenue mobilization. And these fiscal policy adjustments are aimed at achieving that objective that was set from the outset. And here we are. This bill aims at increasing withholding tax from 15% to 20% on the government securities. For those who might not understand what government securities are, this is the tool that the government uses to raise finances from the public, from any other investor, including yourself, who can buy these government securities. They are in the form of government bonds or in the form of treasury bills or any other tool that the government would want to use to raise these finances. So these are actually on the market. You simply go and buy and you make your assessment. So the issues of subscription are not the issue of debate at the moment, because we have always met what we needed to get. So to me, as the minister is presenting this bill, he's not having in mind the issues of how undersubscribed these forecast securities will be, or how the outcome will be. But his focus is actually on raising finances from the very coupon you're talking about, the interest that the investor will earn, so that they will contribute a fair share to help grow this economy. The better this economy is, the better it is for all of us, including the investor. That's why this initiative is very, very important. Madam Speaker, looking at the objectives of the bill, the second objective is the introduction of the minimum alternative tax at the rate of 1%. And this is a very splendid initiative to actually curb tax avoidance, which has been rampant in the country.
You continue afterwards. As the time is 10:40 hours, I suspend business for 20 minutes for a health break.
Good morning, and thank you for still being with us on Parliament Television. Business has been suspended for a 20 minutes break, and at the time business was suspended, on the floor of the House was Zambezi East Member of Parliament, Mr. Brian Kambika, debating the Income Tax Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 9 of 2025, which is under consideration at the second reading stage. Just now, we take a look at some of the business that has been considered from the time business commenced at 09 hours. And Muta, when business commenced, we had some announcements by Madam Speaker. She did recognize the presence of pupils and teachers in the public gallery from Pakachali Community School in Lusaka District, as well as Redland School in Lusaka District. She also recognized pupils and teachers from Top Grade Academy in Kafue District. Madam Speaker, on behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, warmly welcomed the visitors to the National Assembly.
Okay, after those announcements, Madam Speaker then made a ruling, and this ruling was on a point of order raised on Wednesday, 11th June 2025 by Mr. Binwe Mpundu, Member of Parliament for Nkana constituency, against Honorable Chikote, Minister of Energy. And this was on the reason that he thought that the minister failed to disclose the purchase price of electricity by Copperbelt Energy Corporation CEC PLC from Zesco Limited due to a non-disclosure clause contained in the bilateral agreement.
Yes, indeed. And so that's just some of the business that has been considered so far. We will be able to give you the other details at a later stage. But just now, we take a break. Continue watching Parliament Television.
All right. Please just make us go through the silence.